good morning, Justice, on this
Morning.
Freaky Friday tech issue day. Just to quickly start off for everybody, we were having a little bit of audio trouble. I think I have fixed them. However, if we go dead, please somebody let us know. I'll be double checking as much as I can on the production end, and so will Justice. But yeah, just if that's a problem, please let us know. How you doing today, Justice?
I'm okay, sorry, I have two screens now, so I'm like just checking out our stream to make sure that everything's like running smoothly on that end. I'm doing okay. I'm so stoked it's Friday. I know it was a short week, but this week has been the longest week of my life, and I'm glad that it's over now, and then after this, I can kind of just goof around for a bit. What about you? How you doing?
I'm juggling. Honestly, it happens a lot right now. Not that everything is opened up for us, but with the Drive magazine, I have an issue coming up. Deadline is rolling up, and trying to juggle schedules, reschedules, and everybody kind of in an outdoor location right now is pretty. It's kind of it's posing its own difficulties, limitations, I guess, but.
Absolutely.
Sometimes limitations help you with creativity. Cut out a whole bunch of the moving parts, and everything is can be a little simpler. So
we've talked about that, and that I feel like has been kind of the theme of COVID, is just sort of making do. So I think
let's roll out. Let's roll out with Leighton Bain and our music video for today. We are going to be coming back with another local musician. Couldn't play live because his daughter's still asleep. So enjoy some recorded stuff from the AVB podcast of Leighton Bain.
Ladies and gentlemen, Leighton Bain.
I could be afraid of what waits in the dark, and I could rearrange your broken heart. And honey, lay down, take a roll in these sheets. We could run this town, and we could burn these streets. And I'll be steady as a fire through the redwood trees, and ready as a sail on the open sea, as shaky as a prayer when I'm on my knees. Oh, I could be the one that never leaves. Honey, I'm lost. I could pull you in, and maybe we'll feel 16 again. And we could just change and play pretend. You could be a child and you could dream again. And I'll be steady as a fire through the redwood tree, and ready as a sail on the open sea, as shaky as a prayer when I'm on my knees. Oh, I could be the one that never leaves. It was looking up, it's looking bleak, it's looking the same damn way it's always been. Same damn way you've always been. And I'll be steady as a fire through the redwood tree, and ready as a sail on the open sea, as shaky as a prayer when I'm on my knees. Well, I could be the one that never leaves. Well, I could be the one that never leaves. I could be the one that never leaves.
This is it. And that was Leighton Bain, and we are now joined by Colton Summers Young and a very special guest. Hi. Yeah, we're not going to get it now. We had it all while we're off camera, not live. We had all the good chatter. How are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. I love the house coat, man.
you very much.
Huh?
I prefer the term bathrobe. I get in heated discussions with people about whether it's bathrobe or housecoat.
Why?
Well, actually, technically, this one's a soft one, so it is a housecoat, but the terry cloth is definitely a bathrobe.
Yes.
That's the major difference? Is the
That's
material?
the major difference.
Yeah, one soaks up water a lot better than the others.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Hi.
Yeah. So that's it. It's not a smoking jacket. It's not a.
No,
What
it's not
would that
a
be?
smoking
It's not like a home dress robe either.
Right,
You know.
yes. This one's, it's soft and frilly. It's a ladies.
I steal my wife's all the
That's all
time
right.
as well.
My bathrobe's a men's bathrobe, so it's
Yeah.
what does gender mean anyway?
This one's a little short, so we're going to leave the blanket on.
That's awesome.
Much appreciated. Well, thank you.
Yeah. Not that
Why
kind of
don't
show.
we? Sorry, go ahead.
This is not that kind of show.
No.
Yeah.
It's a little too early in the morning for that. So Colton, we've you've been doing some live stuff and you've been kind of interacting in a little different way. Why don't you tell our audience what's been going on kind of during COVID in the music scene for you?
Myself and a couple of the local musicians, we started getting really homesick when not playing music, right? It was like I used to play 9 to 12 gigs a week. And from going to do that to nothing at all, it was nice to have the break because eventually it got to the point where music was work and I wasn't enjoying it as much. So I took a little time off. I wrote a song for COVID and then I took several months off of music and then I got really sick of not playing. So my friend Mike McGrath and his buddy Blake, we decided we're going to start just doing free concerts in a different neighborhood. Don't ask permission, don't do anything, just pop up and play. And the first one we did was actually at Lansbury Park, not the one that you saw me at, but several months before. And it went extremely well. We have generators, so like if we go places without power, like we did Queen's Park one time on Riverside and Mill there.
Oh wow, yeah.
We did that on Father's Day, and it was a huge turnout. People are still, respecting the social distancing and everything else, but it's been going very well. And then a couple weeks ago, we did one on Hall and Wyandotte on a rooftop.
I saw the videos of that. Yeah.
Yeah, a friend of mine opened up a wedding chapel there. It used to be the Midian Brewery, and then I got roped into doing all of her renovations, and then she let me use the roof. So then the Wyandotte Street BIA contacted us after and asked if we could do it again. And then once we did that, then CTV contacted us, and they want to cover it now.
Yeah.
So we're just doing like a big thing, but then we went to go get a noise permit or special events permit from the city, and they basically put the kibosh on everything.
I was actually, you've kind of put a kibosh on my questions because I was like, isn't it kind of nice that the city is right now just letting some of this go on? I did tool around at the Lansbury Park, a week or so ago and saw you out there. We've been seeing that sort of thing happening in Fog. So I was like,
a lot of the police like it, and we've had the police come out a couple of times for noise complaints. So like, we don't know what they're complaining about. This is awesome. We love the concept. Keep going. And then we went to call for this special events permit just in case, whatever else, just to cover our butts for, we're doing a CTV thing. So, and then they were kind of like, no, it's totally legal. You shouldn't be doing it. If you do it again, you're in trouble. And obviously we can't do it there anymore because we put it on the map, but, we want to do something. So we're thinking about actually this Sunday doing a Free the Music version of Band on the Run project, at the open grass lot in City Hall.
Right on.
It's
fascinating, like what the city will let slide, and then the things that they choose to put like the band hammer on.
Right. Yeah.
Their priorities seem a little janky to me.
Like they say, you can have live music, but you can't amplify it. But I mean, it's at places where they have a capacity. It's not like you're building any more of a crowd than there would already be there, right? And then they told us for phase 3, there will be allowed to be live music, but there has to be impermeable barriers between the bandmates. Yeah. So we have to be in plastic boxes while we're playing for people, separated from each other.
Yeah. That's kind of fucked up. Oh, sorry, that's a little screwed up. But you know, it does bring back a really funny joke that I was going to use during Clown Week. And does it really piss you off that mimes kind of have a hand up in this COVID thing because they've all been playing in glass boxes their whole lives?
Yeah.
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 That was a bad joke, but
Yeah, no, it's great. It's
but like, how do they
it's
expect
though.
bands
It's
to do this now? Like, literally, they want you guys.
That meme from This Is Spinal Tap. That...
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. That's awesome. Yeah, that's. I'm finding a lot of this opening phases, the amount of people stuff, a little bit. You know, I mean, I think as everybody, a little bit confusing, a little bit concerning when I'm thinking about the schools, and
Yes,
then
definitely.
and then kind of like just. I don't understand why the city, or maybe you should be getting in touch with all the news and media people and letting them know how the city kind of put a kibosh on it. Because if you put media back on the city and they start asking questions as to, well, why can these things happen in certain areas and not in other areas, especially considering, yeah, I mean, there's a kind of, what are the busker laws here like? Or do they exist? Do busker permits
We don't really
exist?
have busker laws here. Like technically, you need a permit to busk, but I mean, they don't in Windsor. They don't really enforce it much. But if you go places like even London or Toronto, you get in trouble. You get a fine.
Yeah. I mean, larger cities. Vancouver had that. I mentioned my friend David. He got his music, all his gear taken away and seized.
Oh,
And he
really?
got a ticket, and they had it for like almost 8 months. So he had to essentially buy new stuff, but. With the crazy new bylaws and, well, not even new, with the push right now for the city to be like cracking down on these bylaws, you think that they would also want to be increasing their finances from offering things like this. However, they might be caught in a position where it's just not legal provincially. Like maybe that's also the thing. Like you guys are just stuck behind this kind of COVID phase 2 wall.
Yeah, and like I said, even phase 3 is going to be a task for musicians because now we have to follow by all these new regulations and rules.
Yep.
And the fact that bars have been out for so long, can they even afford to pay live musicians anymore? A bunch of us have been contacted by the union saying don't accept any less than stick with your pre-COVID prices because a lot of bars are trying to pay a lot less for these things now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And like this is my living, right? Like I've had to get really creative in how I earn my money now.
yeah, like I know we had Tom from Fog on the show and we didn't really get into the logistics of it, but there is a musicians union here. So I mean, essentially,
Yes.
you guys are also guided. So when people are bitching out about ticket prices and what they have to pay at the door,
Yeah.
there's essentially a minimum that you have to charge as well to kind of be in that union, right? Like.
Yes and no. I'm not actually part of the union because it's a bunch of different hoops to jump through, and like I don't really play in the States, so it didn't make sense for me.
Fair.
But if you play in the States, they help you get your P2 visa, and they really advocate for you when it comes to that kind of stuff. But as far as what I do, it didn't really make sense. But yeah, there are some guidelines you have to follow, but I mean, like it's just them trying to build on what we've already accomplished as musicians, right? Because like they used to be paid really well, and then there was really shit pay, and then back to really well. So like, and now the COVID hit, I don't even know where that sits. I've done a couple of private parties since, and I've been able to charge my regular prices, but
It's going to be a whole different thing. Justice and I have talked about things like side door. Side door is a pretty interesting way. Taryn and I just watched the live Nick Cave. That was I think it was last Thursday or Friday, and tonight there's a live concert for like $9. Clutch is playing live, and they're doing a live stream. Yeah, so I mean, there are, and it's a $9 ticket price, or it was $20 for us to watch the other one. Like these aren't huge hits, and things with side door. They don't have to be huge bundles of money right now. I think that everybody's trying to find a foothold in the industry that kind of doesn't really exist anymore. It just kind of went.
yeah.
So nuts. Justice.
Yeah, man, it's gonna change, man. Everything's not gonna be hunky dory the way it used to be. I think there's gonna be a lot less gigs to give around, but hopefully still as fruitful.
No,
Like I said,
absolutely.
I've been able to make a good living off of music for the last 10 years, but now that's kind of all up in the air.
That's sort of been one of the really unfortunate things that have come along with COVID. But before we brought you back into the room, Six and I were talking a little bit about kind of the artistic and the creative, I want to say, boost that comes along with the restrictions that are put on you, because when you have to work within a different framework. So what was your creative process like, and you said you wrote a song for COVID. What was your process like for getting to that point?
My songwriting process is bizarre. They are very few and far in between. I've been doing this for a long time, and I still only have 3 songs.
Yeah.
I have a really hard time coming up with lyrics, and something that, like, I'm pretty self-critical when it comes to that. So I don't produce a lot of material that a lot of people get to see. So it is just trial and error until I find a product that I like.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. With that going, it was a buildup of, like, not talking to a lot of people for a long time and whatever else, and that it just kind of came to me. And like every other song I've written, it took 5 minutes to write, and then it's 3-4 years in between being able to write another song.
So this is marking a pretty huge point in your music career. COVID is this is the third song.
COVID brought on the third song. Now I can have an EP release.
Now I can have an EP release. The COVID EP release. This is maybe the time to bring it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, I mean, it'd be nice, but now, like, you have an EP release. How do you do that? How do you have something? Because the EP release is supposed to fund the rest of my album, right? So, how am I supposed to do that without a crowd, without a venue, without?
Yeah, we've been in some chat. I mean, some talks with it. I again have been in talks with a few musicians. Justice and I have talked with other ones, kind of separately, but trying to figure out this this idea for release and stuff like that. But what's happening now is there's more options that are really available to you, or at least they're more readily accessible to be getting stuff out there, or be hitting other platforms like Patreon. Patreon is another kind of platform as an artist you can get out there. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the musician Mike Doughty.
I know the name.
Mike Doughty and an older band called Soul Coughing, but he has a pretty good Patreon following, and he does live shows on Instagram and Facebook. So he'll do a couple of songs live, and then he says, okay, for the longer show, I'm going to click over to Patreon, and I'm doing a live show for just the subscribers. So Patreon and like Side Door, those are other options that are kind of available out there. And with Patreon, you can actually release your own, physical, meaning your music files. You can release that stuff and pre-release it on there.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean this. I don't want to, railroad the whole conversation into the kind of geek stuff, but this is stuff that also, man, if you want to reach out and chat with Justice and I, we've done some of these now for a few people, and kind of brainstormed, consulted, I guess, in a kind of fun way about creatively, how they could go about things a little bit differently. Hey, Justice, different view.
I lost my camera.
I was wondering, you looked pretty still there for a minute. Yeah.
It's cool. It's all gravy. Better now.
I'd love to. I've always loved to check out other avenues and anything that I can get my hands in the pot. Right. So
the band on the run thing isn't so much on the run now. Maybe you got to find somebody's garage.
We're keep doing it.
Oh yeah,
no,
good.
Yeah, we don't ask for permission. We don't ask for forgiveness. We just do it. It's not about what the city wants. It's not about anything like that. It's about us giving back to the people. We don't advertise it much either. Like, we just show up in a neighborhood, and it's for that neighborhood. That way we don't have too many people show up, right?
Yeah.
So the day of, we'll announce where we're at, like, minutes before we start. That way there's not enough time to build a crowd that's going to be a problem.
And for people following, we have a link underneath you. That's for the Facebook Fro Entertainment, right? And is that where you post? Yeah. That's where you post that stuff?
No, we actually just created a Band on the Run project page.
Awesome. Okay, so we'll link that out for sure.
And it's just we made it the other day. So
on that, I wanted to. We have a comment from Michael McGrath, who's just in saying,
"Oh my gosh, another one that's up early."
Yeah.
I wonder if he's wearing a better house coat
I don't know.
or bathrobe.
Yeah. So Mike and I are the ones who started it, and our buddy Blake is the bass player as well.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys just need to find like really, really, really large acoustic instruments so that they just travel a little bit farther.
Right. Well, apparently when you amplify it, it creates super COVID. So that's why.
Super COVID.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of theories, but that one, I think that's it. I think you're on to something.
That's the one.
Music caused COVID. Music caused COVID. Oh no, maybe this is why they killed the whole industry. This is why they aren't letting you guys back. It's another conspiracy theory. Just add the comments and build the website.
Absolutely.
We'll be there.
Let's see what that would spiral out.
Yeah. So, other than getting slapped on the wrist from the city doing Band on the Run and kind of shooting them the proverbial finger and continuing on, what else have you been busy with? There was a package that's sitting there with you. Your daughter's been keeping you pretty busy.
I had that was a little difficult through going through COVID and dealing with that way because I had to work. So I wasn't able to see her for a while with this going on, right? Because it was a risk, right? So I'd have to FaceTime her several times a day. I missed her first birthday, her first couple steps.
Oh shit.
COVID's been kind of rough on me, and like I said, music's been my main work. I started scrapping again, so I take people's garbage and make money out of it. And like not having my daughter around, I've had a lot of time to. I've been in the trades for 15 years. I've always been a very handy person, takes stuff apart. Hold on a sec. That was a phone call coming through. So like I found a lot of air compressors when I was scrapping. So I now build custom air compressors. I completely. Yeah, I take them apart, salvage all the parts, and then I build custom ones for people. And then I started making metal melting foundries, so I can melt metal within 5 minutes as well.
Melting.
And
About who needs a custom air compressor and what makes it custom?
I do the custom paint job on it. I take apart all the pumps. I usually use belt driven because it's quiet, it's silent. Like you can't hear it. You can run it next to a sleeping baby. And then I've got just a whole selection of pumps. It depends on what you need for what you're doing, right? So framers need a certain CFM. They need to have certain power. If you want portable, if you want a shop, I can do your shop air, run air lines all through your whole shop and have different outlets for it.
That's neat. That's super cool.
Yeah, so I started getting into that, welding. And then, so it's all started because a buddy of mine and I figured out how to remove gold from computer parts. So we started that process, and then we started making metal melting foundries so that we can melt down all of our precious metals. And then in that, like I would find just the coolest stuff when I'm scrapping. So I just anything that's got an electric motor, I'll take off the electric motor and make a different tool out of it. Or I've had a lot of cool fun with doing that.
That's pretty awesome. So this is kind of like this has been a little bit of your COVID projects, hey? Like.
This has been a very educational process. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And like I said, I've been sticking my hand. I've been in most trades for the last 15 years, so I can pretty much build a house from the ground up. But I wanted to learn a little more in depth for certain things, like electrical, like intricate electrical for certain machines and stuff that I use, and just getting into that kind of stuff.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, to kind of and I've watched. Rob from Sanctuary Tattoo, Rob Brown, has also been kind of like repurposing some furniture, some different wood things, making tables out of like old metal and wood parts. And I've been seeing a few of these things. So custom air compressors, that's pretty cool. That's really awesome. And it's awesome that this time has opened up, kind of that free time or that mental space to kind of drive some of that learning too.
Yeah, I mean, I needed to keep myself busy. I have severe ADHD, so for my brain not to be a million different places, it's hard. So I find as many little intricate things that I can get my hands on that keeps my mind busy, especially when I was going through such a hard time not having my daughter, not working.
Right.
You need something to stay busy.
Absolutely. One of the questions that we like to ask our guests as we sort of come to the wind down of our interview is what is something that you do daily to like maintain yourself? So if you're keeping busy, like what else do you like to keep yourself busy with?
Well, I have my daughter again 50% of the time, so that keeps me very busy. For several years, I didn't have enough time to learn new songs, so lately I've been learning a couple songs a day. And like I said, I haven't done a scrap run in a while because my backyard is full of scrap right now, and I actually got a city notice that I got to clean it up. So, yeah, just going through the scrap, taking out all the precious parts, finding cool things, making things. Like I try and stay busy at all times, and then I still do side jobs. I still take on any side contracts I possibly can because I still need to make money. I have very high expenses, and having EI and no music or anything else. Like I recently cut my leg open with an angle grinder, pretty bad. So I landed a job at WDS. I was there for a week, and then I cut myself not at work, and they weren't willing to hold the spot for me because it was a very sought after position. So
yeah, that sucks. Healing up well though.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, can I show you? It's not.
Oh, dude, scars in the morning. Why not? Oh, that's not that bad. Look at that.
No, I'll send you the before picture after.
We'll have to put a warning on that. We'll throw it in the comments. It'll be, there's a bit of a trigger point there for some people. So,
Absolutely, yeah. I love to trigger people.
I literally lost, and this is the thing. I have like this weird claw thumb, and I lost the tip of my thumb in a skateboarding accident. And I have some before pictures. Yeah. Well, I fell on my thumb, kind of coming down the bowl on cement, and I fell on my thumb on my knee, and it just kind of tore all the skin right off it. So I've got some before pictures too, and it is the grossest thing. We'll gross people out maybe in the comments. It'll be fun.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's gross some people out. Mine went all the way down to the tendon. I was 2/3 of the way through the tendon.
Wow.
Yeah, I had to wear a boot for a couple weeks because they said if it snaps, it's going to go retreat all the way up my leg.
Yeah.
Push it out.
Yeah, that's making me feel things. But at least it wasn't your hands or your arms or your wrists. Like, thinking about musicians, I've had musician friends that have work in kitchens, and they'll lose
my
tendons.
thumbnail is now growing back. I smashed it with a 4-pound hand sledge, and that was difficult to learn how to play guitar again.
Oh, Jesus. Well, we've now turned this into the Friday Bruise Day.
Injury
The injury challenge. But we are just about coming up on our time, and today I literally have to run my arse off to a few photo shoots, so I've got to be on time today as well, Colton.
That's all right. I got to feed my daughter and bring her home to Cotton. So
awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, and
absolutely, yeah.
Justice and I will be sure that when we kind of see those things for Band on the Run, that we pump them out. Maybe get a few more people there.
Absolutely, yeah.
But if you're in that neighborhood and you're able to get and see them, then sit and enjoy, because you're one of the rare few. All right.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much.
All right, thank you.
Have a good day.